Okay, I've taken the grater, I've grated some poly. I'm running low on it now, and I've taken the sand, so I've basically got one part of poly and one part of sand. Now the next stage is to make some eggy weggy chalk. So we just sort of lock this down here, probably onto spot culling for the time being. So the usual thing, crack the 2 eggs, get my spoon, which has been cleaned, of course. This has all been cleaned, fellas. So basically, and then get your chalk, you know, add your chalk to it first, and slowly mix it in as you do, and hopefully, if we're in shot, are we in shot? Yeah, we are. So we're in shot, and slowly it will react with the egg and hopefully form the alternative form of calcium, you see. Different valency of calcium, the one that the CPs like, you see. And of course then we're going to add in, well, for this one we're going to add in some manganese and some zinc, and then I'll subdivide it once I've mixed it through, and half of it will stay this and the other half will get some iron as well. So just as a way of So this is probably what you want to put on your walls and your pathways to get yourself some lichen and maybe liverworts and moss and things like that. Because I suggested to you, they always say that liverworts grow on, well, my Russian friend Igor Zakharov said, you do know that liverworts grow on limestone. I think he said limestone, whatever he means by limestone. And you know, is it limestone because it's lemon coloured or limey looking? Or is it is it chalk that's sort of got a bit of green look to it or something? But I reckon it's because it's got the calcium is somehow got into this other form, which we can hopefully, if the theory is correct, the reductive power of the egg protein is basically almost 50-50 fat and protein. So it's not just protein, it's got fat in there, and it's almost 50-50. I think it's like 45% and 55% or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but you might want to look it up. Anyway, I think we're basically there, fellas. Now, the idea is to, first of all, mix in our manganese dioxide into that and our zinc. So I'll just go and get a bit of both, and if you bear with me. Right. Oh, so we'll just pour this in here and we'll mix that through, and then we'll mix it into the sand, and then we'll separate the sand into 2 lots, and to one of the lots we'll add some iron oxide. So we'll have, in one replicate we'll have zinc and manganese. And the reason we're doing this is because we believe that the manganese dioxide locks up the zinc. That's why the plants go to that funny. But because the zinc is a very, very soluble element, 10 times more soluble than all the other transition elements, it slowly comes back, you know. You can't lock up, you know, it's like trying to hold butter, in your hands, you know. It's so soluble and mobile that, you know, even though you got it in your hand, it's going to go through the fingers or something. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. So we're just getting this all mixed through, And also with the manganese dioxide, you can actually make the assumption that it's mixing at the same rate in here, so you can tell when it's mixed, sort of thing. That's why I want to do it this way rather than trying to put it through the sand. It goes through the sand very easily, but I think it's a bit better this way around. You get a much better spread through the... Now, here we go, fellas. Now this will be about one... We get it... Make sure we're in shot. There's nothing worse than being... Oh yes, there's nothing worse than being out of shot. Maybe I need to put it down there and put the camera a little bit further down. Okay, fellas. That's about it. Now, we're just going to mix it in. And this will be about 1/3 of what you want. And then you want to add another 2/3 of the same amount of this as water. And that will get it thoroughly saturated. But what you want to do, to a certain degree, is get this mixed in. But then you can wash it through like that, you see, with your bowls, I think. So this way you get it all in there. And it's also how I wash my my grater too. You put the sand through it and it gets rid of all the polystyrene. It just, because the sand is slightly damp, it just pulls off all that fine polystyrene off your grater into the medium. So okay, now so we get this through here. Now I'll just get my watering can and this is going to be in shot, I don't know. Yes, it's sort of going to be in shot. Okay, so basically I put the same amount of water in there once, like there, and then I'll get this to go around and then I'll do it again, and it should be quite saturated then and ready to go. So thoroughly wetted and years of skill and knowledge all at your fingertips, I think. That's half the problem with being prepared. They say, oh, it's being prepared, but it's also having that background of knowledge, knowing how to, the best way, but the fastest way, the best way, most economical way. You know, it's all those years or months of carting back bags of salt and things like that, working out salt indexes. It's slowly all coming to fruition, fellas. And you'll get to a certain stage, a look. I think I may actually need a little bit more. And you'll see it'll take on a look, and you'll know with the poly in there. Yeah, I think I need one more shot actually. There you go. Yep, now I can feel you go. There's a feeling with your hand. You can see, yep, that's it. And a look. So, it's just saturated enough. Any more saturation, and you'll start to bleed. You see that? Any more water in there, and it will start to bleed off. And some of your oxide will start to run. And you don't want that. So. Okay, so this is your zinc and manganese. As I said, the zinc and manganese. Now, you notice the colour has seemed to have changed from when we just did the manganese oxide on its own. Now, is that because the zinc is attached to the manganese? Is that our hypothesis is that the manganese dioxide is actually locking up zinc, has the power to do that for a certain amount of time? Look at the fainter colour there than with the same amount of manganese. The normal. So our suggestion there might be somewhat correct. You know, the manganese attached to the zinc, or the zinc attached to the manganese. You know, it's like copper to chalk, chalk to copper. I think. Anyway, Now that's about it. It's got that look, and it should be ready to be put into one of these once you put a fly wire base in it. Any excess you can always, doesn't matter. Okay, right, basically that's so basically I'll proportion it off. I'll do one, I'll put this into there, and when it gets close to the top there, I'll put some, this time I'll put some bare sand on there. I may actually mix some egg into the sand to make sure that it sticks, so you won't have all that pooling of the fine poly at the top sort of thing. So, and then with the remaining there, I'll put some iron oxide in it, so we'll have one replicate manganese and zinc, and the other replicate manganese, zinc and iron, and we should be able to see between those and the other replicates what's going on from this end. And then with these ones here, we're squeezing the problem from the other end, and by the combination of the information, the data coming out from those two, we should have enough knowledge to have a good go at cracking copper, either with cerium or manganese or something else if we learn something new along the way. And then I'll set up a pot. I may even just set up a perlite poly chalk, eggy chalk on its own, and then do a perlite poly eggy chalk with the various micronutrients mixed in at the right ratio. So the ratios from experiments I've done in the past, that sort of give me a rough gauge between soluble salts, how much salt can they handle as free salt compared to phenolates versus oxides, versus to things locked into chalk and clays and things like that. And from all that sort of knowledge I've learned over the years, I should be able to work out a rough ratio that should